Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, all of my beautiful friends from all across the vast reaches of the internet. Welcome to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, your excited and absolutely thrilled host, Luke Dick. Now remember, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. Don't forget to share it with your friends as well. You can respond to this week's episode's question by going to our page in Spotify, clicking the description of the episode, and below in the description you should see a comment section, and I'll read those comments out loud on the next week's following episode. This is an ad-supported show, so we'll take an ad break after reading the comments from last week, and then about 20-30 minutes into the show after that. Please go ahead and join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us, where there's a new mega thread posted every week and anyone can just comment or post something podcast related. So I'm actually pre-recording this episode because by the time that this episode comes out, I will be back in my home province of Saskatchewan in Canada, and I will be on a camping trip with my family. So I will not have access to the internet. So with that said, I'm not going to read out the poll. I knew you guys thought I was going to say comments. Poll, the results of the poll. I'll read that out on not this week's episode, but the next week's episode. And I'll read the results of that poll as well as the poll that I'm going to do today. I know that everyone does get disappointed when I don't read the comments, so I'm going to read the comments up until this point. So there may not even be any more comments by the time that this episode comes out, because actually there's like 4 comments here, I think. So that's a decent amount. So I'll read off those, and then So why don't we just hop right into that? And then I also have a new Would You Rather for this week as well. So last week's episode was, what is the scariest thing you've seen and you can't explain? I don't know if I actually got answers for all of these. Everybody likes to answer the Would You Rather, which is totally fair as well. The Would You Rather I'll just read the Would You Rather so everybody kind of knows what the Would You Rather was. Wow, that is what the Would You Rather was. That kind of sounds like, yo, I'm kind of popping off. Sounds like I should drop an album or something. So the Would You Rather for last week was, would you rather live in a custom simulation or the real world with a random superpower? So let's check out our comments here. Sorry, folks, it just takes me a little bit to scroll my computer, and the first one comes from boom. It's Vortex. What's going on? It's great to see you back here again on the podcast, commenting, Vortex. I'm back. Finally finished all my exams in school. I haven't been able to listen to the podcast because my girlfriend wouldn't let me because she said they were immature. Safe to say I dumped her ass. Okay. Oh, safe to say I dumped her ass. She said this podcast was immature. I don't know if honestly I can defend those allegations. I really think I'm probably one of the most immature podcast hosts on the on platforms, across platforms. I really don't think I can defend the immature allegations, but it looks like you did have to cut the line here. You had to cut those ties, because what runs deeper and thicker than blood? The Reddit Asks Us podcast, okay? The orange logo, everybody knows this. I have binged the shit out of the podcast. I'm safe to say I'll be commenting weekly again, and I don't assume I'm dead or gone missing. Keep up the good work, Luke. Well, thank you very much for that wonderful and informative comment, Vortex. Most appreciated. Next one comes from Dusty. For the Would You Rather, I chose the custom simulation as long as I'm in explicit control of the simulation for obvious reasons. So that I can be God, so I can embody God, and I can be all-powerful, all-knowing, and yet somehow be not all good. Oof. It begs the question, if God is all-knowing and all-powerful and all good, then he knows of suffering, he can change suffering, and he'd want to change suffering, but yet he doesn't. So, who knows? We're getting a little philosophical here. I have to put my degree to use. But I wouldn't go full God mode and just mess with others I have beef with. But it's a simulation, so I feel like, would you really gain satisfaction from messing with people you have beef with in a simulation? I feel like it'd be better in like the real world, 'cause, then your actions have a real, and then you're actually screwing up somebody's life. No, I'm just kidding. Also, I would just make my life slightly easier. I guess, yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're the god of your own simulation, your life's probably going to be, it's probably not the most, stressful, strenuous life. I was on my bus in the afternoon, and some kids got off, and then a couple seconds later, I heard yelling, and they got jumped. The bus lingered for a sec. Since I'm not super busy, I could volunteer as admin in the server if you could make it happen. Yeah, sure, I can. I'm definitely going to look into making a Discord server for the podcast, so I'll let you all know about that. I could probably post it in the subreddit, like the link, and just talk about it on the show, and just how to join. But that's kind of crazy, though. You're on the bus, and then a couple of kids got off, and then those kids just started getting jumped. That's so crazy because, like, I feel, what do you really do? What do you really do in that moment? Like, the bus driver's not about to get off and start, that's not, I don't really think, I'm kind of confused at what you all kind of just did. Like, that's kind of the epitome of the bystander effect. You're kind of just sitting there like, does someone want to get their phone out? I mean, this is kind of prime good stuff we're looking at here, all right? I don't know if this is going to make it onto Reddit anymore, but, it could maybe find its home on a couple private Instagram meme pages. Maybe I could sell this video to some sort of Instagram page. That's kind of the mentality nowadays. I mean, it is kind of awkward. You just kind of like, just sit there and you just start joining in. You're just like, just everybody in the bus just pulls down the windows, and they're all like, yeah, kick his ass! Kick his ass! That motherfucker stole my lunch today! Yeah, how does it feel now? Bitch. Everybody's just like cheering. It's like it's a UFC fight. People just start like, yeah! Yeah! Put his head in a headlock, yeah! Just like that! Grab his dick and twist it! I don't know if you... if you aren't aware of that meme, then that wouldn't necessarily make sense. But yeah, that is really awkward. I don't know if what I would do. I'd just be like, oh, I guess, yeah, this is, guess we're in one of those rough neighborhoods. Just gotta, oh, would you look at the time? Gotta be home. Bus driver, gotta be home. Got a strict schedule to keep here. Next one comes from the Green Changeling. Custom simulation. Assuming I have complete control. Everyone wants complete control. What is going on? Why? What's there to? I don't understand. If you're in control of everything, how do you get satisfaction from that? Because nothing's organically going to just happen and arise on its own. So I just don't understand what the idea of complete control is. If it seems a little bit like boring to me to have complete control. Like, some of the coolest things that have happened to me in my life have kind of just happened by accident and by chance. I feel like it'd be really boring to just kind of be in control of everything. First thing on my agenda is I'd get rid of stupid ads and make sure whatever moronic algorithm chooses ads for Spotify podcasts doesn't select the same one 3 times in a row. I'm still not getting any ads on this show, by the way. Not sure why. Am I the only one? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm still... my ads are activated, and whenever I listen, to check, make sure my episodes are playing properly, the ads play, so I don't know. Second point on my agenda would be get rid of all anti-consumer bullshit out there. Anti-consumer. Interesting. Then I would probably go mad with power or boredom. Would we all? We would all. Yeah, exactly. We all would. Yeah, that's what I mean. Last one comes from Phil Savannah. What's the scariest thing I've ever seen? Have you ever walked in on a pterodactyl? Yeah, that's scarring. Where's our boy Vortex been lately? Hope he's okay. Also, in a custom simulation, I couldn't just customize myself to have superpowers. I mean, yeah, you could customize yourself to have superpowers, but I feel like, again, it's not real. It's a simulation. I feel like there's something to be said about being in the real world and the authenticity that kind of comes with that and the unpredictability. So, it's not, I just don't. I'm not a big simulation guy. I'm sorry. I'm just not Mr. Simulation. Okay, I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to convince you we're not in some kind of simulation. All right, I'm not the messenger here. You don't shoot the messenger. Okay, so why don't we just drop it? Okay, drop it. We're not in a simulation. End of story. Dropping it. No more talking about this topic anymore. We're not in a simulation. Okay. Jeez. It's like every freaking day I gotta tell people we're not in a simulation. God damn, when are they gonna learn? Anyways, yeah, totally normal stuff that's going on back here. We're gonna take a short little ad break, and then we're gonna hop into this week's episode.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
Welcome back to this week's podcast episode. As you can see from the episode title, what is a red flag to see in someone's home? This is an interesting one. I feel like I'm trying to think about things that I've seen in other people's houses that strike me as a little bit like, I feel like if you're a person who has some sort of like really expensive objects like sculptures or marble things, it's kind of like, you know, I understand wanting nice things, but it's like, yes, I paid $1 million to have this beautiful Victorian sculpture transported into my living room. Like, I paid a hefty price to get the slaves from across the world to smuggle this for me. How? It's like, I've never really been to a ton of extravagant homes before, but I do see on Instagram people like, you know, showing off these homes and stuff, and some of them just have this insanely extravagant things in them. I'm like, who did you have to kill to get this? How many people died in the process of you getting this thing? And then, even though you have this thing, like, I'm more of a fan of expensive things that maybe they cost money, but they have some sort of meaning to you. But it's like, if you're just like hoarding something that's just really rare, you know, when it could be seen by the public, it's like, yeah, this is an original Leonardo da Vinci sketch. It's like, I mean, I feel like this probably should belong in like a museum so we can like all see it. Like, what do you need it for? Are you gonna invent something he made? Like, are you gonna improve on his design? I don't really think that that's kind of the goal of, you know, having these kinds of things. Like, you know, oh yeah, you see, here's where Leonardo really went wrong on this one. You know, I probably would have made a couple tweaks here. It's like, that's like, what's the purpose or point of having this stuff? It's just kind of to be extravagant and brag and you know, for someone else. All right, we're gonna jump right in. So first one comes from Mictic Darling. No hand soap in the bathroom. This is like, I feel so many of these are probably gonna be related to like college or frat houses, but it's like, bro, part of this comes, I'm so lucky I live in an apartment with like my friends who are actually like good humans and contributing people, because like having to buy soap all the time and whatnot, like, you know, if you're that person who's always buying the toilet paper, the soap, and whatever, I feel really bad for those people, because obviously you're taking the brunt of the cost and other people are obviously not appreciating it. But to just stop altogether, bro, I mean, it doesn't, like, yeah, if I stop buying soap, the poop is just going to leave my hand when I wipe my butt. Like, I don't understand that, like, that just... How do you think this is about to go down? Like, I don't think, just because you stop buying hand soap doesn't mean the germs just go away. Yeah, I pissed all over my hand, but it's all good because we don't have any soap. What? Like, what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. The piss is still on your hand. It didn't just go away. It's not going to disappear because you don't have soap. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, if you buy into that, that's big soap talking right now. That's big, bro. You can go to the farmer's market and buy like 100 bars of soap for like $20. Like soap is not really that inaccessible. You can find soap. It's not like we're talking about human hygiene. You want to know how humans died in the past for like most of human history? Disease, unhygienic behavior. That is a large contributing factor. You know, when people were having open wounds and they just kind of, bandage them up and just that's it. Yeah, it's just because they put a bandage on it or wrapped it up. I mean, that's not going to stop their leg from going black and having to amputate it. So I think we need, I really don't think that just not having the presence of some sort of preventative measure is really gonna change the outcome of your situation. I think you're about to get very sick, very, very sick. Reply from Dignity. I lived in a 10-person house in college. We had 2 bathrooms. It's sort of naturally split into girls' and guys' bathrooms, except for me who used the girls'. One night we're drinking and a girl ends up using the guys' bathroom because the other was taken. She comes back and says, "Damn, you guys must use a ton of hand soap when you wash your hands." Everyone looked confused. She said she used that bathroom like a week or 2 ago and was out of hand soap. She just used it out and it's out again. You could see it dawn on everyone's faces. No dawn on their hands though. Pun intended. Yeah, I mean, if you were ever hooking up, like trying to hook up with your crush, lived in the same house, the 10-person household as you, and you use the guy's bathroom, it's safe to say that, you could probably move cities. I think you might need to transfer colleges. This rumor, or this fact is going to follow you. This isn't just something you can, casually walk away from. Yeah, so what? I don't like wash my hands after I go to the bathroom. It's literally, it's like this is normal. It's like fine. It's totally chill. Like everybody, this is not even a big deal. Like it's 2024. Can we get past this? Get past disgusting, disease-ridden filth? I don't think so. I think that's going to be a bit of a deal breaker for me. If I found out, that my partner just kind of walking around all the time with just a poopy butt, I can't say that spark's gonna stay alive. I can't say the spark's gonna be, everlasting. Don't know about that one. Next one comes from Slightly Dramatic. I change the bathroom towels in our guest bathroom every Friday. One Friday, I told my son to go wipe up the urine he'd left on the seat and floor, and then watched this imposter of my DNA wipe the urine with a hand towel and hang it back up in front of me. I never wanted to disown a relative more in my life. Bro, please tell me your son was like under the age of 10. Even 10 is like, bruh. But if this is like your 30-year-old son, I'm surprised he's alive. Like, I'm surprised he's not living on an iron lung or something. How is he alive? Have you you've kept him in a bubble? He's Bubble Boy from Seinfeld. You've just kept him in a bubble his entire life. He's never breathed out like unfiltered air. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. How could you logically just be like, oh yeah, just let me wipe this up with the towel. Yeah, just clean it up here. Yeah, just gonna shine up the toilet seat with the hand towel. The towel that people use to clean their hands. I actually heard that piss has ammonia in it, which is like a cleaning agent, so disinfecting agent or something. So again, where is everyone getting their facts from? I'm pretty sure the facts point to the fact that piss is cleaning agent. I'm making everyone's hands cleaner. Okay, what is the whole thing about, you let nothing of yourself or your body or the world go to waste? We're all about recycling. We're all about holistic treatment in the world of the things around us. I mean, fuck it. Like, I don't even I just piss on my hands when I'm done. Even if I don't have to piss, I just dribble out a little piss and wipe it on my hands and clean as a whistle. Okay, that's how I've always done things. I mean, and it's nice because I enjoy personal space and nobody really keeps like everybody keeps at least a 10-foot radius around me because of the smell. But I mean, it does wonders as a cleaning agent. So if anything, you should all be thanking me. Next one comes from Parker JH. I did some real estate photography on a home. It was a mass state trooper. It was disturbing. A nice neighborhood, a nice home, clean and well maintained, kids and wife photos decorating the walls and end tables. But I started noticing holes punched into the walls, some of them plastered and repaired, some of them fresh. Doors that had been splintered at the bottom from being kicked in, a couple of doors that had padlocks on them and had been ripped out. There were just signs of rage everywhere I looked. It was disturbing and I felt bad for the family. Again, like this is... we need to... Did you not tell anybody about this? Like, this is a state trooper. This is a figure of authority. I feel like these are some pretty obvious signs. I mean, I don't really meet a ton of people. I go over to their house and I see constant photos on the wall where there's cracks around the photos and there's padlocks on cellar doors. That generally doesn't tend to be items you find in a loving, caring, reciprocal, gentle household. And state trooper also, I'm thinking that's probably, if there's a person who you absolutely should report as being a criminal, is probably law enforcement. I mean, I'm just saying, they're supposed to be the ones enforcing the law, and yet they're the ones who are breaking it. So it's like, it's kind of a, you gotta call out the hypocrisy. I mean, what this guy's doing is a lot worse than being hypocritical, but still, did you just like ignore that? You just thought about, oh yeah, that's weird. Oh, these chains hanging from the ceiling. Why? That is super odd. Oh, there's an Iron Maiden in one of these rooms, and there's a giant pool of blood coming from this Iron Maiden. It was just Halloween. This is totally Halloween. That's crazy. That's, wow. Attention to detail right there. It smells terrible in here. It really smells like rotting flesh. That is a nice touch. You got to be very creatively inclined and creatively gifted to really pull off that level of detail in the house. Yeah, I'm surprised you weren't next. This sounds like this guy was collecting some bodies here. Next one comes from... Oh, the hell. Oh man, this I kind of have a little bit of a story about this, but this one comes from Bad Cat Garfield. No sheets on their bed, but clearly they sleep on it. I don't understand. How are you sleeping with no sheets on your bed? Like, are you just like, ooh, yeah, let me just slip into this mattress? Like, oh, the warm air, the cool air of my room is gonna comfort me and lull me to sleep. That is, if I came over to somebody's house and I was about to sleep on their bed and their bed was just, there was no sheets and they didn't act like weird about it when I was clearly saying there's no sheets on your bed, I'd be thinking that this is a murder plot. Like, why would that? This is clearly not something a sane person would do. This is giving very, very, very concerning vibes. She's inviting me in. Why don't you just stick on the mattress? I'm just gonna chill over here. I'm just gonna chill all the way over here. I want you to sit on the mattress. Sit on the mattress. Just sit there. And I'm just gonna go get one of my really big knives, and we're gonna have a charcuterie board in my bed without sheets when I have a kitchen and a table. Why don't we do that? It sounds like fun. This reminds me oh man, there is a person who I used to live with once upon a time, and he was a sublet for one of my friends, and this guy, I mean, I kind of speculated that this guy didn't really shower a whole lot, based, on a couple of indicators, one of them being the absolutely, it's one of those things where you can't not notice it. Like it's not unremarkable. The smell, just generally him, the room, there was a stench, that was percolating. And when this guy moved out and we stripped the bed, we looked at the top of the mattress, and there was just we had to throw out his mattress because there was just a brown stain in the shape of this dude's body just on the bed. The room was, it felt like we were at ground zero for a pandemic. Like, we thought we might have started the next pandemic. Like, The Last of Us with the fungi, bacterial type of infection. We thought we were fucked. Like, we thought we were screwed. It was over for us. I'm going to get mushrooms popping out of my eyeballs any second now. I'm going to start going around trying to attack people, bite people, and this is a hazard. I was like, welcome to The Last of Us. Welcome to Zombieland. All right? This is where it ends. This is where it ends all right now. Yeah, but definitely not, you can't ignore that. It's not something you can just, as you walk by the door, especially because his door is right by the door to leave, it's not one of those things where you can just, not notice it.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
This is what you do when you've just found that statement handbag on eBay and you want to build an entire wardrobe around it. You start selling to keep buying. Yep, on eBay. Over that all-black everything phase? List it and buy all the color. Feeling more vintage than ever? It's out with the new and in with the pre-loved. Next thing you know, you've refreshed your wardrobe basically without spending a dime. Yeah, eBay, the place to buy and sell new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion.
Reply from Shaw Slate. Back in about 2015, I had a job at a high-rise that had opened in the mid 60s. One of the first residents was a young man. He moved in with his new furniture and lived there for the next 50 years before I met him. The bed was, oh my God. The bed was brown, radiating from the center where it was deepest black brown to the edges of the mattress where it was light brown. How did this guy not die? The pillow was nearly black. It was less mattress than it was cloth. Covered. He's just sleeping on springs. This guy's just got holes in his back from getting, it's like free acupuncture. The way I see it is I'm getting free acupuncture and you are complaining. A number of residents there were original to the building. From one lady I learned that he had never owned a set of sheets, slept in the nude, and had the same furniture since he moved in, and that the mattress was also original. Wow. Talk about vintage. I'm going to sell this on Depop. This is a vintage 1960s mattress. You know how much this is worth? With original black and brown stains. It was by far the filthiest bed I'd ever seen. That is horrifying. Just absolutely terrible. let's see what else we've got here in the there's a bunch of just really terrible ones here. I'm trying to find ones that are funny. This one comes from Sorry to Offend. Dish rack was in the sink and had black mold on it. They just put clean dishes on it to dry. I was horrified. They also just put water in the baby bottles and then let them soak and use them. I never actually washing the bottles. Horrified. What? The dish rack was in the sink and had black mold on it. They put clean dishes on it to dry. That is not even hard work to just clean your dish rack. Like, if you notice the dish rack is getting dirty, or like it's not even like you're already washing your dishes. It's like, nah. It's just that an extra step. Like, it's that extra little bit that's gonna be. I just don't think it's. Why is it my responsibility? Why is that? I've already cleaned my dishes. Now I got to clean the dish rack too. Like, what is this? A labor camp? I can't be expected to clean the dishes and clean the dish rack. What is this? Some sort of Matrix thing going on here? Then I gotta clean the cleaner. I gotta clean the soap, and then the soap itself needs even more cleaning. So I don't like. Then I gotta go to the soap factory, start cleaning the soap factory. How far does this go back? Okay, I can't be expected to just clean the whole thing like it's some sort of Russian nesting doll of cleaning. It's like well, have fun, dying then of a black mold infection. That sounds great. That sounds kind of like the way you're trying to go out right now. Next one comes from Arius K. When they don't do basic preparation for a pre-planned guest coming over. For example, there's no toilet paper and they don't offer you anything to drink and the house is really messy. This is something also, this is such a pet peeve of mine. When you go over to somebody's place and it's like, especially when you've been invited to their house for like a thing, like, oh, we're having a football watch party or a basketball watch party, or we're having a dinner or a thing, or like we're going to have some drinks, or we're going to and you go over to their house and it's just decrepit. It's like, what? You don't seriously expect me to just go to the bath. Like, the person behind me didn't even flush. Like, it doesn't even look like the last 3 people did. This is like, I don't even want to put my drinks in your fridge. Your fridge has rotting food in it. Like, really? You couldn't have just give it a little, before you decided to invite guests over? It's like, hey, everybody, why don't you come over to my disgusting house where everything smells and you could potentially catch a very serious infection or disease. It's like you bump your leg on the table and he's like, oh my God, you didn't get a cut, did you? I don't think it got cut. Why? Oh, geez. Oh, wow. Well, let's just say that table, that's, hasn't, seen some days, and it's not the cleanest. Let's just say, it's not the most spick and span. It's not right off the lot. It's like, what did you do on this table? Did you give an autopsy? Like, what the hell? Like, what happened to this table? I feel like I'm being over dramatic, but still, the least you can do is put toilet paper in the bathroom. That one is the one that pisses me off. Like, you invite people over, and there's no toilet paper in the bathroom. It's like, are you expecting people to like yell out in the hallway? Oh yeah, you got no toilet paper here. Oh yeah, it's no worries. I was gonna use my hand. It's all good. It's just gonna announce that to the entire household that that I've got a poopy butt and it needs wiping. I feel like that's information I'd rather keep in the bathroom. Reply from Not a Blue Archer. I went to someone's house for a D&D session once, and she had her dirty underwear on my chair. Not one person in the group thought it was weird that I had to move them. That was the last time I ever played with or spoke to them. How do they not think that that's weird? Oh yeah, you can just toss those anywhere. These have piss stains on them. There's like a massive skid mark in these underwear. I'm not touching these. I don't understand why you think it'd be like normal for me to touch this. Like, you're like, are these your underwear? Like, did these just come out of the wash? I know people, put dry clothing and fold it on chairs and tables and stuff. Is this part of your clothing? I'm not sure. Can you smell it? And that'll give you a really good indication whether it's clean or not. You want me to smell this? What? I'm gonna pass out. Yeah, just go ahead. Give it a smell. Just give it a deep old big whiff, and you'll totally be able to tell after that. I guarantee you'll be able to tell after that. Wow. I think I need to call like Department of Health and Safety. Like this cannot be happening. This feels like it should be illegal. Next one. Oh man. Let's see. Next one comes from Minute Marzipan 4597. Crack pipe, cats but no litter box. Liquor bottles are only decoration you can find and barely any furniture. I mean, I feel like you could have just kind of stopped at crack pipe. I feel like that's not a very, that's going to be a pretty good indicator that this person doesn't have the most cleanly home. That's going to be probably a pretty solid indicator that this isn't a place where you're just looking to chill. It's not going to be a great vibe for the hang at this particular apartment. I don't think I've ever pulled up anywhere, saw a crack pipe and been like, oh yeah, just, Jimmy smokes a little crack. Smokes a bit of crack. So it's fine. He doesn't take care of his cats. He really likes the shape of liquor bottles. What can I say? They're just, that's what it is. And he likes lawn chairs as furniture. So what? It's practical. You can move them around. It's not like they're tied to one place. He doesn't like to do, he likes to rearrange, especially when he's on the crack. He just gets really hyper fixated on stuff, and then he'll just start cleaning shit and moving it around. But it's not really cleaning if it's using your own piss. So, but he says it's got ammonia in it. So he's a character. He's a character. But it's a great hang. Awesome place to just relax and, have a couple beers, watch a couple games, and smoke a little crack. Like, it's just, this is prime chill. That's the prime hang. Let's just see what else we got here. What the heck? Next one comes from Ill Profession 8600. No furniture, black garbage bags as window curtains, and a box spring with no sheets, just a dirty blanket. Garbage bags on the window curtains? This person is definitely paranoid. This sounds like a person with early onset schizophrenia. I don't really think that putting garbage bags on the windows... Are they also scared of, like, the light or outside? Maybe this has to do with some sort of, like, undiagnosed phobia or something strange going on here. I think it's pretty indicative of mental health. I don't really think that that's just like a red flag. I think it's more of a crimson flag. Like, it's kind of the depths of the sun type of, this person needs help. Like, did you just leave just kind of being like, wow, that was weird. What a strange place. Garbage bags on the windows. That seems odd, and kind of just always talking about the feds, the police, asking if I hear helicopters outside. Yeah, I don't know, but that was weird. But moving on. Yeah, I hope that was not. I hope that was not what you did. Let's see. Next one comes from A Blunt Force Distrauma. One of my best friends from middle school invited me to spend the night one weekend at their house. And it was so unbelievably nasty. It was more than just trash and dirty clothes all over the place. My friend's older sister had a baby, and there were even dirty diapers and food scraps. Wow, that's appetizing. Throughout their apartment. Aside from some odd behavior from their mom, who was pretty much gone the whole time we were there, we went swimming in their apartment pool that same weekend, and my friend told me that her mom actually had a drug problem, so she sometimes wouldn't see her for days at a time. So now I think any unusual amount of trash could indicate a serious issue, and they might be going through something in order for their house to be looking like that. I mean, I don't really think that that's a might sort of thing, that it's could indicate. I think it's a pretty solid indicator. I don't know tons of mentally stable people that have dirty diapers just chilling around the apartment. Don't know too many, very, very well-rounded people who just have, trash lying around and food scraps throughout the apartment. Not, I've never met a ton of people who are, yeah, my buddy's a lawyer, but don't go to his house because there's poo all over the floor. What? Yeah, he's, he actually is getting a position for a justice. He might become a justice here in the future and a judge, which is really soon, actually. But again, don't go over to his house. He's got a dead snake in there somewhere. He doesn't know where. It's just a dead snake. It's in the room. Everyone knows it's there, but we don't really know where it is. But other than that, really organized, stand up, put together type of guy. Yeah. Let's see. This is an interesting one. Next one comes from Titta's Blitz 111. Anime stuff. I don't mean mangas or season DVDs or anything like that. Those are fine. But if you have art with giant anime tits, that's one single thread of string from being hentai hanging out of your living room, well, you probably don't get guests anyway, so keep doing you. Oh, man. If I had somebody... If I met someone and they invited me over and they were like, come meet my girlfriend. I'm like, okay, cool. And it's an anime body pillow. Luke, I've been waiting to introduce you. This is Mikasa. Say hi, Mikasa. Are you going to say hi back, Luke? Mikasa literally just said hi to you. Are you going to ignore her? Like everybody else in the world and underestimate her? You don't think that she's smart enough or strong enough or powerful enough to make it in this world? Whoa. No, dude. Mikasa, you seem like super chill. You seem like you're the real deal, bro. You seem like you got a lot going for you, Mikasa. You have the trajectory is high for you. There's nothing you can't do. The world is yours. The world is your anime oyster. That is, you can just go ahead and you got this, girl. Yeah, that's, again, even posters on the wall. Anime posters, nothing bad. Dragon Ball Z, a little Dragon Ball Z, maybe a little Pokemon. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, so, maybe something Yu-Gi-Oh, I would be like, oh, that's pretty cool. I heard like a lot of people like One Piece. But, if you got one piece of that ass up on the wall, I can't say that's going to be the most inviting environment. I can't say that that's going to be the most, neutral type of, accepting. I'm not feeling that this environment's open to all. I think that that's kind of, it's really loud, really speaking for itself there. I don't really think it's a very accessible image to have up there. It's just my opinion. If you're gonna invite people over, maybe take down the hentai posters. That's all I'm saying. Just for when people come over. I understand you got it framed. You got it signed, maybe even, which is dedication. But maybe you could just dial it back for the guests. I don't really think it invites itself to the most, open environment for all folks. That one's nasty. Next one comes from Knee Claw. a parrot. No normal person lives with a parrot. I live with a parrot. I am definitely not normal. Birds in general, it's like people all of a sudden decided when did people all of a sudden decide that they could just, that the dogs and cats were just not enough? That the animals that we have spent thousands upon thousands of generations and years domesticating specifically for the purpose of being human companions, fuck those ones, right? Well, fuck it. Why don't we get a fucking bird? Let's get a fucking dinosaur in here. Fuck that boring shit. Cats, dogs, boring. That's old news. I want a freaking eagle. Let's give me a freaking hawk. I want an owl. I want something, I want an alligator. I want something that is like primordial. Like I want something that could have existed 300 million years ago. That's the kind of vibe I'm going here. Where are the crocodiles at? I want to go to sleep with a boa constrictor. When did no, people, there are normal pets. They have been around for a long time. Okay, you could get a horse if you wanted to. You probably couldn't keep it in your apartment, but that's a pretty, you know, that's a pretty crazy animal to have. It's not that crazy, but you know, it's cool and it's different. You know, it's interesting. You got birds. I'm not interested. Birds are really, dude. We don't like birds are like I said. The birds are closest living relatives to dinosaurs. I don't want dinosaurs. I don't want to hang around dinosaurs, bro. It's not my vibe. We can just choose something else. People who want monkeys as pets, why? Why do you want a monkey? Get a dog. What's the difference? The dog is easy. It's known. It loves you. A monkey will tear your eyeballs from out of the inside of your head. A monkey will rip your arms from your torso. If you got a chimp, it's like, yeah, he gets a little aggressive sometimes. He might rip your face off. But that's, just watch out. Just, feel his mood. Don't get on his bad side. Okay, I feel like I shouldn't be having to alter my behavior, because of this crazy animal that you want to have. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up there for this episode of the podcast. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Asks Us podcast, the podcast where we read and react to comments from r/Askreddit. I am your host, Luke Dick. Now, remember, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast, please, please, please leave us a rating and also leave us a review. Remember, you can answer this week's Reddit question by going to the description of the episode in Spotify, and you should see a comment section below there, and you should be able to comment, and I'll read those comments out loud on the next week's following episode. Remember to join our subreddit, r/Reddit Asks Us. I love each and every single one of you. Peace out. Love you. Goodbye.